I want to discuss one hot debate,
Hmm.
topic, which is, let's say we have a lot of clients who reach out to us,
Hmm.
and their sole purpose is that they have some capital and they want that capital to get appreciated through real estate investment. They don't care about living in that real estate investment. They don't care about rental returns.
Purely appreciate.
Purely appreciation, right? And we do get a lot of investors who have the kind of capital around, let's say, 2 to 5 million dirhams range, right? So I wanted to discuss in this video whether for these investors, is it better for them to invest that capital into the waterfront projects of Dubai, or whether they should be investing into the townhouses and the semi-detached villa units of the communities which are launched by a certain few developers.
That's an excellent question, right? And we get that question a lot
Right.
by a lot of clients. See, I think it's important to note, if you want capital appreciation, I think it's important to opt for a townhouse which is launching in a new master community and is ideally in its first phases.
First phases.
So let's say phase 1, phase 2, you're seeing it's a new master community, it's a master developer. That is something you should definitely go for. If you want good capital appreciation, townhouses in the market are scarce, so they will always be in demand. That is what I think. But if you want to opt for something which will get capital appreciation, but good, strong short-term rental returns,
Right.
and long-term, ideal for end use as well, then I think you can opt for something more towards waterfront.
See, this debate is always there because, a lot of people say that waterfront is limited. Coastline is limited, right? It cannot be replicated. But people, they say that townhouse communities can come anywhere. Dubai has a lot of land in the interiors, right? So that debate is always there. But, if we closely look onto the townhouses market, there are very few developers who are actually able to launch townhouse projects,
Yes,
right?
or who are actually able to pull that off, because townhouses require a lot of space, right? A lot of planning.
Right.
You need a proper community. You cannot just, decide to buy a plot by the road and launch
And make a townhouse,
and make a
right?
townhouse,
Yeah.
right? So you need to plan it in a proper manner.
Right.
That is why I think that definitely, if you have the option and you have the capital to opt for something which is launching in its first phases, I think that's something you should never miss out on, because not many launches like that keep coming.
That's
Right?
true. That's true. I want to go through some numbers of townhouses communities, how they have performed, just to look at the flipping side of it, because a lot of investors buy these townhouses, even sometimes multiple units of townhouses, with the goal to make some decent appreciation. So we'll take one community at one time. I'll start with the Valley by Emaar. In Valley, of course, the very first few clusters, your Eden, Nara, they have performed really well because
Really well.
those were the communities where the very first, investors entered, taking all the risk,
Yes.
taking all the risk of this brand new.
These were all the first phases.
Yes.
Yes. And they launched it, I think, somewhere approximately 1.5, 1.6.
1.1, 1.3
1.1.
was the starting prices, and those units are now trading around 2.4, 2.5, like these kind of prices, right?
And not many in resale. I don't think a lot of people want to sell at the moment, right? There's not so much supply for it.
Yes. So what I wanted to talk about, like the townhouse clusters which were launched a couple of years back, and like people who bought in these townhouse communities, did they make any appreciation? So first of all, I have Rivana. Rivana in the Valley,
These were the semi-detached
the
ones.
semi-detached ones, priced really well. Honestly, wish I would have bought one of these unit at that time of the launch. So they have had 52 resale transactions in a couple of years. everything is positive. 23 transactions are more than 15% appreciation, which is a good number. And a lot of them are even more than 20% appreciation. Then we had Nima. Nima was liked by a lot of people, these townhouse units, right? And out of the 54 resale transactions in just a couple of years, 34 are ranging in the range of 15 to 20% capital appreciation. So Nima has also performed really well in the resale market.
Very healthy appreciation.
Very healthy appreciation. Everything is in green. Only a couple of units maybe are like close to OP, but not many, given the number of transactions, it's very few. Then we have Alana. And Alana is where I see a little bit not as good as Rivana and Nima. Out of the 18 transactions, 8 are almost like close to the OP. A few have performed around 20% appreciation and a few around 10% appreciation.
I think Rivana was also the one, why it's done so well. It's important to note is that they did have some of the best layouts.
It had.
It had a very good layout.
They were having very nice, even Nima also. Nima had very nice layouts and the sizes were also quite big. And people prefer large townhouses. They don't want to buy these tiny townhouses, So Alana, I think why so far it hasn't performed too good is mainly because it was probably one of the last clusters in the Valley Phase 1. So the prices were already a little high on the higher side. But I think once this project comes close to completion, I think the numbers will get better for sure.
Definitely.
And moving from Valley to the neighboring community of Damac Hills 2 by Damac, what was launched like a couple of years back were these clusters, Camellia, Natura and Verona. While in Natura and Verona, there haven't been many resale transactions, only a few. So only like when we see like 3 or 4 resales which are like around original price or less, then as we discussed, those are those one-off cases where the seller is in some trouble. So
and they just
doesn't reflect.
Simply liquidate.
Yeah.
It doesn't tell us much.
It doesn't reflect that the project is not performing or there is no demand for this project. It is just that it's a special situation where the seller needs to take an exit.
Yes, and the seller is unable to give that project the time that it requires.
What can give us a good amount of data is this cluster Camellia and the Mac Hills 2, these townhouses. They have had like about 47 resale transactions since the launch 2 years ago. It has also performed good. I would say about 13 were sold around more than 20% plus appreciation.
Okay, that's decent.
Yeah, 16 were sold around 15% plus appreciation. And 13 were sold around the same or maybe less than original as well. So sometimes some sellers are lucky that they get the right buyer and they are able to flip it. Or maybe you can say sometimes some buyers are lucky that they are able to get a good deal at the original price.
Yes.
Or below OP price, right?
I think it's also telling us that a lot of people are now, especially those who are end users living in apartments, they do want to opt for a bigger space. So they will opt for a townhouse. And everyone doesn't have the budget of, 3.5, 3.6 million, right?
Yes. And even for townhouses, what matters is now, because you need to understand, in these resale transactions, it's mostly the end users who are paying an appreciated price and buying these units. Some of them are also mortgage buyers. And they consider a lot of aspects. One of them is layouts, size, and the quality. And one product that I want to mention here is the Maha Townhouses by NSHAMA in Townsquare.
Fantastic community.
It has been one of the best townhouse communities in terms of performance. What I can show you here on the screen Maha Townhouses have had like 35 resale transactions. All the transactions have seen appreciation. Out of which 10 have seen more than 40% appreciation, which is a great number. In a couple of years, making 40% appreciation, your return on equity will be, these were at, I think, at 50-50 payment plan, then your return on equity was probably more than 80%.
Yes.
Right? 13 transactions were at more than 30% appreciation.
And again, Townsquare doesn't have too many townhouses.
Yes.
Right? It's more towards apartments. There are more apartments over there as compared to townhouses. So the townhouses that were launched earlier, as we can see, they've done very well.
Yes. And I've heard good reviews about the quality as well. Also, given that the location is also nice, the connectivity is good to Emirates Road. Moving on towards Dubai South, and in Dubai South, what I wanted to speak is Emaar South. And in Emaar South, what was launched like 2 years before was this villa cluster, Fairway Villa. Fairway Villas 2 actually, the second cluster of it. And they have performed decent as well. Out of the 21 resale transactions, 12 have had an appreciation of 15% and more. 5 are around more than OP and 4 are around OP. So it's still good, but I think once the golf course gets officially opened up, because these villas are directly in the middle on the golf course. They will definitely see
also did extremely well at the time of launch.
Yeah.
They were sold very fast.
Of course, yeah. This is an Emaar product.
You're entering again in a golf course community by a master developer.
Right.
Getting some of the first few villas around the golf course. So I think as soon as that entire community, the golf course is operational, you'll really see the prices go up.
Definitely, I'm also quite optimistic on these golf course villas in Emaar South, Golf Lane as well. Moving on, one of the hottest townhouse communities is the Damac Lagoons. And the Damac Lagoons actually has performed really well, especially for the investors who entered in the very first few phases, very first few clusters such as Santorini. But if I talk about the clusters, the middle phase, like the clusters which were launched 2 years before, which were not the very first phases of the Damac Lagoons, they have not performed that well. Like talking about this cluster Marbella. So Marbella has seen 44 resale transactions. I think this cluster has townhouses and villas, both unit types. So out of the 44, 18 have seen an appreciation of more than 15%. 26 in the range of 6 to 15%. Most are like above OP plus 4%. So there are no negative transactions in Marbella. So Marbella has performed decent. And this cluster Mykonos and the Damac Lagoons hasn't really performed that well. Most of the transactions are either at the original price or below. So it really matters, as you have said, that which phase you are entering of that master community, whether the prices have not really appreciated already in the master community. So it's always better to enter at the first phase price, right?
Right.
So let me ask you, Hiral, this one question. Now we know that Emaar will be launching soon, hopefully by the end of this year, maybe a new master community by the name of Heights Country Club. So investors have the chance to enter the very first phase. So what would you recommend? Would you recommend someone to enter into the first townhouse phase of Heights, or whether they should opt to buy a waterfront property?
I would suggest that if you do have the capital, and if you are somewhere between 3 to 4 million, I think it's important to note that the community is in its first phase. It's a new community. Heights is going to be completely new by a master developer, Emaar. So I think if you want capital appreciation, then definitely heights is the way to go in the first phase, right? You want to 2x your capital. You want to see healthy appreciation after 3 to 4 years. Then definitely townhouses are much lesser in numbers, right? But if you want to really reap the benefits of short term rental returns, you want, whether it's short term, whether it's long term, then I think waterfront is the way to go. But not just any project on the waterfront. You have to really see who is the developer, which location are you investing in,
Right.
and what has the track record been of that developer.
Right.
So that is something important to note. So for example, if we look at RYM, for
Right.
example, right?
Right.
You know it's Emaar. You know that if you look at their previous waterfront projects, like let's suppose Emaar Beachfront,
Right.
you are seeing that they do ensure their clients get that healthy appreciation. So as long as you're noting the project, then definitely you want short-term returns, opt for waterfront.
I think even in waterfront, if you can get into a smaller master community,
Yes, something that's exclusive,
Yeah.
It's not too large. It's not going to be an oversupply of a lot of units. Then definitely the developer is exclusive.
Right.
Those projects tend to perform well.
One last topic that I wanted to discuss for our viewers is that not everyone has the capacity to invest in the townhouse segment or in the waterfront properties. I want to touch a little on the budget segment, which is your properties in the range of, let's say, 700,000 dirhams to up
A
to
million.
a million, up to 2 million dirhams, right? Because right now in the off plan, even the waterfront properties are mostly starting above 2 million dirhams, and the townhouses are starting above 3 million dirhams, right? So for the budget segment, what we have seen now is the coming of this new area, Dubai Land Residential Complex, which a lot of people are saying is going to be the
DLRC, yes.
JVC 2.0. We already have JVC. JVC is pretty much mature now. It has given strong rental returns to all the investors. But in JVC, there have been a lot of launches. Like I was going through some stats, and within this year itself, around 6,800 off plan transactions have happened in JVC at a price per square feet of 1,500 dirhams. Whereas in DLRC,
It's slightly lesser, yes.
is this quite less because DLRC has witnessed 2,800, this 4,000 less than JVC. And the price per square feet, the average price per square feet to enter in an off-plan project in DLRC is around
1,200,
1,350 dirhams per square feet. So there's a difference of about 150 dirhams in there. So what is your take between JVC and DLRC?